Oysterfest upon us, and it is this upcoming weekend, and so we start our great conversations with wonderful folks from Skookum Rotary and the like to get ready for Oysterfest. And in studio, we have Heidi McCutcheon, who is here to talk as well with the grand old oyster. Jill Himlie, good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations on being the goo this year.
Thank you.
It is a wonderful honor to kind of spearhead the events of Oysterfest here. You can always find out more, and we'll put the links to this, oysterfest.org, and 39th annual?
Started in 1982, so I guess this is the...
It is,
38th anniversary.
Okay, there we go. That's how we're going to refer to it here this morning. Comes up this upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and there's a whole host of things for folks to get ready and to do. Jill, let's talk a little bit about Oysterfest. I mean, it's a huge thing for our community, huge thing for the nonprofits around here. For someone who's, I don't know, been living under a shell for the last 38 years, they haven't heard of it. Tell us more.
Well, I think one of the really unique things about the event is that all of the food vendors are local nonprofits. And so not only what we earn from Skookum Rotary's foundation, but the local groups as well use this as their major fundraiser as well. So no commercial vendors, all goes right back into the community.
It's great to see so many volunteers, Heidi, for each of the booths that make time at Oysterfest, not only making and presenting the food, but then the different service groups that are there and represented, the touch tanks, and it's a whole big, fun family weekend with all sorts of things for folks to see and do and taste and touch.
It is. So when Oysterfest began, there was 4 different things that we wanted to hit on, and one of them was marine education. And so the marine touch tanks are definitely one of the biggest hits of the weekend. Kids and adults. Can, get their hands in there and play with starfish and clams and such. So we're really lucky to have that. And then, of course, the shucking competition, watching these guys and ladies go at it, it's just amazing how quickly they go.
Isn't it, when they're
It is. And when you think about, 24 oysters in 2 minutes, it's a minute and a half. It's pretty exceptional.
And it does draw a pretty big crowd, too.
Yeah.
It's, people start sitting in the bleachers and ready for the heat.
People get their seats ready. You need to have that front row seat. So
they have their friends go get the delicious foods and they hold the seats every hour on the hour. Saturday is the speed shucking, and it's the half shell presentation on Sunday, where it's just amazing to watch how fast some of these folks are. In addition to that, over the years, some ways that it's changed is we've seen the increase in the micro brews and the beer stage and the beer area for folks, and all the wines that are represented. You could really show up, Jill, and spend, and it's encouraged to spend all day at Oysterfest. And
well, there's lots to do. Just obviously the beer garden, wine tasting, all the food, the events, and just a lot of people gather there. They see friends they haven't seen for years, and so lots of places for people to catch up.
You mentioned some of the monies raised not only by the nonprofits but by Skookum Rotary. How does that money get back into the community?
I think probably our biggest contribution back is in scholarships, and we usually do a little over $20,000 each year in scholarships to community students and also continuing students. So those junior and senior years when you need a little help, but also just local organizations. I think we did Adopt a Pet, Kitten Rescue, the
Turning Point, Crossroads Housing.
Center.
So there's a number of different community organizations that our grant foundation gives back towards.
When do these RVs start showing up? We start seeing them, Thursday
They
afternoon,
will be lining
Friday
up
morning?
Thursday afternoon, officially checking in at noon.
That's amazing, and it turns into its own little city almost out there.
Last year we saw more than 500 RVs, so it is quite amazing. And people do walk about and make friends with other campsites. We see people from as far as California and Nevada coming up, so it's and for them it's an annual event.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about Oysterfest is, kind of the traditions. It's fun to see. As long as I can remember, the dance team has been doing root beer floats, and so just kind of seeing how how things continue but yet evolve. So one of the things I'm really excited about this year is Zinn is releasing a cookbook.
Yeah.
And so we'll be selling that, and she'll be up there both Saturday and Sunday afternoons autographing her cookbook. So, just kind of the different nuances and things that we're able to further bring the community together is exciting.
And she's such a part of the Oysterfest history as a shucker. She competed and won several times, so it's a nice...
she was champion 5 times and held a speed record. I think she still holds one of them so it's, and she's just so humble about it and has such a great sense of humor. So we're excited to have her back and kind of, have her play a new but featured role.
I will also point out that for folks who may not like seafood or shellfish, there are other options available for different types of eaters out there.
Most of my family here is oyster, and they're like, "Ew." But I'm a big oyster guy.
Plenty of other things that you can try out at Oysterfest, and fun for the kids. There's always the train rides that you can get involved with, the putt-putt golf, and a whole lot more, including the touch tanks that we talked about. Well, all week long, we've got great representatives of Oysterfest and Skookum Rotary here on the show to talk about us getting ready for this upcoming weekend. Doors on Saturday open at 10, and it's going to be a heck of a good weekend for Oysterfest this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
If I can add in one more thing, too. Friday night, Shelton Rotary puts on Oyster Funk.
That's
so
right.
This is the third year. It's kind of like a pre-funk for Oysterfest, so that gates open at 6. Varmints take the stage at 7. So that's kind of the prelude Oysterfest.
And that'll be a fun one, too, for folks. Again, Friday night for sure.
And then also on Sunday morning, the PUD employees do the Shuck and Share run that we sponsor by giving Sunday tickets to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shuck and Share. That's right. They were doing that one. We had some folks on from PUD3 to talk about that. Cool. Well, Jill, good to see you. Heidi, good to see you. And look forward to an upcoming awesome weekend.
Thank you.